What the duck is up, everyone? Thank you for joining us for another episode of DuckTakes. As always, with me, my co-host Garrett.
Hey everyone.
What are we doing today, Garrett?
Today we're gonna be talking about 28 Years Later, new movie with Aaron Taylor Johnson. Did I say that right? I think.
Yes, you said that right. You always question if you said these actors' names right. Yeah, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Jodie Comer, Ray Fiennes, Alfie Williams, Jack O'Connell. Briefly, very briefly with Jack O'Connell. Edvin Writing and Chi Lewis Perry as the Alpha. And we'll be talking about him later.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
And why we'll be getting into that. Pause.
But before we get
this
into
movie
that,
is 28 inches later. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
but we'll get into that.
But yeah, before we get into that, we are going to be, just some general movie news, catching up on what me and you have been watching lately in our spare time.
Well, I mean, spare time, we did watch 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later. You want to save that until we get to the movie, or? I mean, I just got to say this.
We're not going to be able to talk about that without talking about
maybe
28
not.
years. So,
okay.
Maybe
so we'll save those two movies for last then.
Yeah.
But other than that, I just yesterday, I watched original Jurassic Park, rewatched that because I want to make my way through the franchise before Jurassic World Rebirth. And I also watched the second one, Jurassic Park, The Lost World. And I hadn't seen that one in a while. That one always popped up on cable. Obviously, the first one is goated, one of my favorite movies of all time. But the second one, I really enjoyed the use of lighting and blood gore in that movie. It's a little more heavy on the blood than the first one. And while it's undoubtedly a step down from its predecessor, I do think it does have better dinosaur scares. Like the dinosaurs just felt, I wouldn't say maybe more menacing, but
like better jump scares specifically?
Just like better scares in general. Yeah, when it came to the dinosaurs.
Okay.
And the use of blood is really good too. Also, it's like, you know, when you go back and you see the lighting of movies from the 80s and 90s and specifically Spielberg movies at this point, and you're just like, damn, can we get that sort of lighting in these movies again where you don't need to see it, like it doesn't need to be a hyper realism of lighting. Like let there be this crazy fluorescent light in the background that's used as moonlight, but it's casting off this amazing shadow on these characters. Or like, you know, there's a character, it's like a wide shot and you just see the character as a black silhouette with a magnificent fluorescent light in the background. It's like, I feel like we don't get those lighting techniques anymore. It's like hyper realistic.
Like we see too much, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like we need to see every detail.
Yeah, which you don't. Because honestly, when you don't see everything, it lets your imagination run a little bit.
Yeah. I miss that. Bring that back. But, you know, the second Jurassic Park movie, Lost World, you still got Spielberg directing, so you still feel that in it. You got, what's his name? Wow, why am I blanking on his name right now? Ian Malcolm, Dr. Ian Malcolm, played by, dude, no. Hang on.
I've actually never known that guy's name.
Jeff Goldblum.
Oh.
Jeff Goldblum.
Okay.
But you probably,
that character.
Yeah.
Do you know the actor's name of the main guy? Like our main dude?
Oh, Alan?
Yeah.
That actor?
Yeah. I've never known that guy's name. I only know him from Jurassic Park.
It's hard to remember, but no, he's in Peaky Blinders.
Is he?
Yeah, remember? He's the cop in the first season. He's that cop from Belfast.
Oh, wow.
He does a great American accent.
Yeah.
But no, he's from the UK.
Oh my God. I had no idea that was him. I had no idea that was him.
Yeah.
Damn. Dude, honestly, I've heard multiple people talk about Peaky Blinders lately. I need to get back on that.
Well, what? You made it to what? Season 4?
I think so, yeah. But honestly, if I were to watch it, I'd probably just rewatch it.
Sam Neill.
Interesting. Okay.
No, he's great. But so you still got Jeff Goldblum as Dr. Ian Malcolm in the second one. Definitely a weaker group of characters. But it's still got that Spielberg touch to it. Other than that, I've just really been catching up on the How to Train Your Dragon movies. Final Destination, I finally finished that franchise.
Okay.
I'd been making my way to be able to see Final Destination Bloodlines in theaters. That was really good. That was a really good. sort of legacy sequel, I guess you could say, because it does touch back on the whole franchise. And that was the first Final Destination movie to come out in 14 years. You get a nice send off for Tony Todd, horror icon, RIP. And that whole monologue that he has at the end, he wrote that himself. So that was just like a perfect send off for him and his character in that franchise. But yeah, Final Destination Bloodlines was good. It had like the strongest story since the first few, definitely.
Tony Todd is such a goated actor, bro.
I know.
He's so...
And like his voice goated too.
Oh my God.
Him and Candyman.
Iconic, bro.
Spider-Man 2 video game. His voice, bro, is just so iconic.
He passed away recently too, didn't he?
Yeah. That's why that was a nice moment for him in that movie.
Yeah. Tragic.
Yep. But let's see. How would I rank? I think I had, for the Final Destination movies, I think I had the newest one at the top. And then maybe the second one. Then the fifth or first one. Then the third one. Even though I like the actors of the third one, the acting in the third. And then at least have the fourth one in last place. The fourth one is ass cheeks.
In the third one is... Wait, we're talking Jurassic Park?
No, I was talking Final Destination.
Yeah, Final Destination now. Okay,
we're
jumping
Jurassic
around.
Park. What about?
No, I was just thinking, third one of Jurassic Park. I haven't seen that movie in so long.
That's the one I remembered the most outside of the original.
Yeah. Am I mistaken? Like, is there a scene where like they're up in like the nests of the pterodactyls?
Yes.
That's that one.
Third one is the pterodactyl cage.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And funny enough, I gotta say this too, because I've been reading the original Jurassic Park book.
Yeah.
And if social media existed when the original Jurassic Park came out in 1993, y'all would have been flaming it so hard for not sticking to the source material. Because there is obvious changes from the book to the movies where these days you would have had people complaining about it. It's crazy. It's crazy because the movie, it's a perfect movie and it works so well for the movie. And it is still a great adaptation from the book. But I feel like if it came out during social media, people online would have been complaining so much that it didn't stick enough to the source material.
I feel like people need to do that more with movies. It's like whenever you watch a movie, you don't need to compare it to
what, Garrett?
To like what?
To the original.
Why are you looking at me?
Because the How to Train Your Dragon? Because of the recent How to Train Your Dragon movie.
Like, it's a remake of a fucking movie.
And that's where the difference lies. Yes, I'm glad you said that because it's two different forms of media adaptation.
Yeah, you're doing the same form.
Yeah.
That's completely different.
I agree. But I got cooked a little in my Letterboxd review about that.
Nah, man.
But it's totally different.
Very different.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot tell me that, reading a book is comparable to watching a movie and getting to see these things actually happen in front of you.
Not to mention there's always going to be details left out compared to the book to movie. Because there's just so much more details you can put in the book.
Yeah. So that's a big reason why you should not compare those two things, is because there's clearly going to have to be some it's going to be clearly not going to be able to have as much detail that you want in a movie compared to a book. Yeah. So yeah, big difference there versus the fucking How to Train Your Dragon. It's already brought to live action. Yeah. Or not live action, but it's already brought to life in the animated movie.
It's already been on the big screen.
Yeah. And you're just doing it again.
Yeah.
So no, very different.
But yeah, the third one, I'm excited to rewatch that because everyone dogs on the third one.
Third one of
Jurassic Park.
Okay.
But maybe it's because it was just on TV the most, but I remember watching that. Well, no, we did have the VHS. I do remember that.
Did we? Yeah. No, we did. Yeah, we did.
We did.
Yeah, we did.
Was it VHS or DVD that we had for that?
I think that was VHS.
Yeah.
That was VHS.
Yeah. I remember.
Because I think we had the original and that on VHS.
But
and then we knocked the second
one. But not the second.
I feel like we did that. I feel like mom and dad did that a lot. We'll have like...
They were probably
we'd have incomplete trilogies.
They're probably like, oh, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I'm like, yes, it does.
What have you been watching?
So I just finished Princess and the Frog.
Solid.
I'm trying to increase my Disney knowledge.
Uh-huh.
And I think that was a good place to start. I knew I love Keith David, and he's the villain in that. I was familiar with the Friends on the Other Side song. So damn good. Like I cannot get it out of my head.
No, I really do enjoy Princess and the Frog, and it offers like a really different setting for the Disney princess movies.
Yes, that was my biggest thing with this one, was that it really does separate itself from the rest of the Disney princess movies. And it's just a whole nother culture, which I really enjoy.
Yeah.
And I mean, New Orleans in general is just a really cool culture. So that was really cool to see. I finally watched How to Train Your Dragon 2. I'm slowly working my way through that trilogy. Bro, I had seen the original in preparation for the live action. Went and saw the live action. Then we did our Patreon movie night and we watched the original again. I'm like, bro, I have seen 3 How to Train Your Dragon movies, 2 of them being the same. I'm like, I need to move on to the second one. I need to know what happens. So I finished that finally. Oh my God, dude. Stoic.
So do you see why I say Stoic is the GOAT now?
Yeah, you say the glue, but
he's the glue of the franchise.
He's the glue of the franchise. I guess I will see his absence more once I watch the third one, and I'll notice him more. But oh my God, bro. That scene of him reuniting with his wife, I literally cried.
And that does not happen.
And I don't cry. Like, I don't cry. And like, it's always like my eyes will get really watery, but then when I blinked, like that tear,
the tear fell.
The tear came down.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude.
That's crazy.
Oh my God.
Yeah. He's the GOAT. The music was.
You're as beautiful as the day I lost you. Oh my God, bro.
Yeah.
I'm literally getting teary eyed talking about it.
He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. The epitome of healthy masculinity.
Yeah, he is healthy masculinity. Takes care of his family but is very protective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What else? I've watched a few episodes of Tires. I started throwing that on when I'll eat my food rather than
Shane Gillis TV show.
Yeah, rather than watching The Office for the 1000th time.
Yeah.
So I'm trying, like, honestly, whenever I'm like eating food now, like that's when I'll throw on like a new comedy series.
Nice. I have been still rewatching Game of Thrones, have slowed down when it came to season 5. And let me say this, rewatching Game of Thrones, there is a considerable drop in quality, in my opinion, from season 5 compared to 1 through 4.
Quality as in writing?
Yes.
Okay.
And another thing that I've come to realize upon my rewatch of Game of Thrones is that Tywin Lannister is the motherfucking glue to this show.
So you're just finding the glue of everything lately.
I am. I'm finding the glue. Stoic's the glue of How to Train Your Dragon. Tywin Lannister is the glue to Game of Thrones, and he might be a top 2 character, and he might not be 2.
Some of my favorite conversations in that series are with Tywin.
Yes, a lot of them.
Dude, he commands the room.
Yeah.
Whenever he's in a scene.
Charles Dance.
What a goated actor,
my God.
bro. Charles Dance needs to be talked about more. Because he really is such a fantastic fucking actor.
He knows just how to capture your attention.
Yes, he does.
Even in any like other projects too. Alien 3. People, shit on Alien 3, but Charles Dance was a great part of that movie. He just knows how to command your attention. So that's what I'm noticing upon my Game of Thrones rewatch. I'm really curious and excited to rewatch season 6 because I've always held season 6 at the top for me. But we'll see on rewatch if I still hold that one at the top.
Like with the writing and everything?
Yeah.
Because you've seen that drop in season 5?
Right. Because seasons 1 through 4 are
peak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're really good.
Yeah. Speaking of peak, I do think I want to get into some Peaky Blinders again.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I've had multiple people tell me recently that they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm watching Peaky Blinders." I'm like, "Yeah, it's a great fucking show." I got to like season 4 and then I stopped. I don't know why, but
yeah. Well, not to mention you got Cillian Murphy, Sam Neill, Tom Hardy, a lot of good actors in it. But speaking of good actors. Recent movie news, it is confirmed that Jon Bernthal's Punisher will be in Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland.
I saw that.
How do you feel about that?
So, I know, like, obviously I love John Bernthal, like
Yeah.
that, and I love his Punisher. Like, that's not in question at all here. The only thing that I have seen people complaining about is they're like, I thought we were finally gonna get, this solo Spider-Man movie, which is like kind of what they were setting up with the end of No Way Home, with like, him kind of restarting and nobody knowing who he is, and we'll finally get that Spider-Man, like the kind of like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, where it's like just him and listen to the police scanner or whatever.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, it's just a matter of direction. Like, is this the direction we want to go, where it's gonna be like in every movie we know Banner's gonna be in it, right?
Oh my God, that's right too.
So we got Banner and Punisher in a Spider-Man movie. It's like you just don't want those to take away from this being a Spider-Man movie.
So, and now with Punisher being in it, is Daredevil going to be in it?
Yeah.
And we already know, like, I wouldn't mind, because I know Kingpin still only has TV rights with Sony, and he can't be in a Marvel movie right now.
Yeah.
He can't be in a movie.
Yeah. And so
I would love if Tom Holland Spider-Man, like, would throw some hands with Kingpin, and Kingpin became a Spider-Man villain, considering also Kingpin's mention of Spider-Man in the recent Daredevil Born Again show, but that can't happen.
That's honestly the best thing that they could do right now.
Yeah.
Especially with Kingpin being such a hot, just a popular topic.
Yeah.
Because of the Daredevil series, and that was a success. And, so like, it would seem like such an easy transition for this to not only become Daredevil's fight, but to also become Spider-Man's fight too. Because it's like, bro, if he has this much control over New York, where the fuck is Spider-Man?
Yeah.
We know he's in New York.
And like, part of me is making me think maybe there has been some negotiations with Disney and Sony to maybe allow Kingpin to be in a movie.
So this is what I also saw. The reason we're not getting a Spider-Man movie, like just solo, is like that's also part of the contract or whatever. It's like with every. Honestly, I can't verify this information. I saw it somewhere, but yeah, I heard that apparently, like, whenever there's a Spider-Man movie, like there has to be some other major
that Sony
character
owns.
Yeah, no, not that Sony owns. Like it's like a collab, basically, because Sony is Spider-Man is Sony's character.
Right.
They need a Disney owned character in that movie with him for it to happen. So that's like Homecoming. You had Iron Man.
Yeah.
Far From Home. It was Nick Fury was in that one.
Yeah.
In the third one, it was
a lot of people.
Yeah. Doctor Strange was the main.
Okay. Yeah.
Other thing.
Yeah.
So then now it's like, we're having another Spider-Man movie. It's like what Avenger or other, Marvel
Disney
character
owned.
that Disney owns is going to collab with him on this one. So it's like, it's never going to. Yeah.
It's just never going to happen.
It might not ever happen. So
dang.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Which kind of sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think it just takes away the focus from
Spider-Man,
our main character. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know a lot of people at the end of No Way Home were like, oh, okay, I can get behind this. And, now they're restarting. But now, yeah, you don't want too many people taking away the attention from Tom Holland Spider-Man. But in other news, happy 50th anniversary to Jaws. 50th birthday. The summer blockbuster that changed the game forever, literally. I remember Dad telling us how he went and saw that movie and was terrified to go into the water for years. Just the impact that movie had on everybody at the time is crazy.
Bro, I find that so hard to believe. You
Dude,
were terrified to go into the water for years from a movie?
Oh, I 100%. I absolutely believe that. Because there was an adaptation of a book, and that book was based off of real life events from the early in the 1900s. Yeah. So, I mean, I believe it. I don't know, man. You go in 1975 and you see that movie, not to mention at that time, like, you're a young kid maybe. And
I mean, I get that people can be impressionable, but at the same time, I'm like, come on. Like, I go into a movie.
I believe it.
I go into a movie, even if it's something that's based on a true story.
Yeah.
I know that there is exaggeration at play. Like, I know not to take what I'm watching in the theater too much to heart because it's not real.
Such a goated movie though. Shout out Universal. Sending a little steelbook, 50th anniversary limited edition steelbook behind me.
Very sweet.
However, I did not receive the 50th anniversary package that all these other creators have been getting, and I'm a little salty. I'm not gonna lie.
Wow.
I'm not gonna lie. You know,
damn, calling them out right now.
I'm calling them out. You know what came with it, bro? They got 4K, the 4K disc. They got a beach towel, a Jaws soda thing that looked really cool, like a Coke bottle. A bucket, like a popcorn bucket, a bunch of other cool shit, man. A beach bag.
Damn.
I'm a little salty. I'm not gonna lie, just because I've been,
That's been your movie.
I go to the parks. That's been my movie. Look at
Yeah.
that Jaws Loungefly backpack behind me.
Yeah.
A little salty.
Damn.
What's your favorite Steven Spielberg movie, though?
The disrespect is real.
In honor of 50th anniversary.
It's got to be between Jurassic Park and Schindler's List.
Mm-hmm.
I might go Jurassic Park though.
For me, it's always been Jurassic Park.
Yeah, it's. I feel like it's just a more enjoyable movie. Schindler's List is just depressing. Like it's a great movie, but
Yeah.
it's
You're
just-
not gonna rewatch it every summer.
Yes,
Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't say Catch Me If You Can. In
I
that
did see
lineup.
that on there,
Yeah.
but nah, it's Jurassic Park's a superior movie.
Catch Me If You Can is great though.
That one's a more fun movie, and even more, I think that's an even more fun movie than Jurassic Park. Man, what is it about like just people breaking the law like that? That's like honestly, I'm comparing that to Wolf of Wall Street right now. Both Leo too.
Yeah.
But yeah, just
That's funny.
getting away with things and getting money and
And
doing it
then-
illegally. But I mean, it all comes crashing down.
And then
but
the system wanting to use them to help them out. So
Yeah.
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 No, yeah.
Damn, I actually never noticed those similarities between Catch Me If You Can and Wolf of Wall Street.
Either. But yeah, definitely got to go with Jurassic Park. Always been my favorite Spielberg. But let's get down to 28 years later now. The sequel to 28 Days Later. However, people do forget there is a 28 Weeks Later as well.
Yeah.
We have a trilogy here. However, 28 years later is looking to be the beginning of the newest trilogy. So in 28 days it began, in 28 weeks it spread, in 28 years it evolved. 28 years since the Rage virus escaped the biological weapons lab, now still in a ruthlessly enforced quarantine, some have found ways to exist amidst the infected. One such group lives on a small island connected to the mainland by a single heavily defended causeway. When one member departs on a mission into the dark heart of the mainland, he discovers secrets, wonders, and horrors that have mutated not only the infected, but other survivors as well. And we had Danny Boyle, who directed 28 Days Later, come back to direct this one. He did not direct 28 Weeks Later.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So you hadn't seen 28 Days Later yet. So you had just watched 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later. I had seen 28 Days, so I rewatched that. I had not seen 28 Weeks Later. So let's go ahead and give our quick thoughts on 28 Days and 28 Weeks.
28 Days, fire movie.
It's such a goated horror movie.
It's so good.
It's so good. I enjoyed it even more on rewatch.
Yeah. No, I liked it a lot. I actually had no idea Cillian Murphy. I had never heard anything about that movie.
Yeah.
All I knew was that it was a zombie movie. I had no idea Cillian Murphy was in it, and I was like, "Oh, shit!"
Yeah,
I was excited the
And
second
not
I saw
just-
him on screen.
Not just Cillian Murphy too. You had Naomi Harris and Brendan Gleeson in there
Brendan
as well.
Gleeson, bro.
Yeah,
Loved Brendan Gleeson in that.
he's great. No, the cast lineup was fantastic
It
in
was-
28 Days.
It was so good.
Shot on a budget of $8 million. And it was really innovative in its way when that came out as well, because a lot of it was shot on a camcorder,
Yeah.
which, big budget movies or even indie films weren't really trying to do, still trying to shoot on film. Digital
Mhm.
was making its way into the frame, but, they were still trying to figure that out. And just like the look and the aesthetics of it, it's hard to replicate that.
Yeah.
It gave off this really eerie feeling that
There was
works
a lot
for
of
the movie.
There was like a lot of emotions going on. It
Yeah.
was a roller coaster of emotions in that movie. Like beginning, you just had like confusion and
Mhm.
not knowing what was going on. Later, like a good like sense of family with this little group that they formed together.
Mhm.
And then, when Brendan Gleeson's character gets infected, you got that going on. And then just that complete twist once they make it to that military
Yeah.
facility. is an interesting movie. And
it was
was
like an interesting study on humans as a whole, on humanity.
It is. And then like what I really liked was what was I gonna say?
Well, when it got to the
no. And what I really liked is like how it kind of turned into like this Die Hard situation towards the end of the movie. That's how I looked at it.
Oh, Die Hard?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Die Hard.
Yeah.
You know, like he's going around taking people out and, you know, to rescue the two girls. I was like, it turned out pretty cool. And I knew I knew they couldn't trust those guys.
Yeah.
I knew they had some ulterior shit going on. I was like, this is too good to be true. And they just felt so out of place in this weird, like that, bro, that dining room that they were sitting in. I was like, this feels like
a little culty.
Yeah, that and like it looked like Barbossa's dining room that he had set up. It was just creepy.
And you know, the twist as well when you see the airplane fly over and it's just, you realize that it's just the island of Britain.
It's just them
quarantined.
Yeah. And that guy, and that's what that guy was saying.
Yeah.
The guy who was a member of their little group, he was saying like, it's not the world, it's just us.
Yeah. It's almost like, what would be even more of a hopeless situation? Like knowing no one's coming for you while the rest of the world is going on, or the whole world is infected. Like what would be worse to you?
Well, I mean, like, I guess it's how you look at it. Cause like it would be a hopeless situation if there was nobody that was able to come get you. But at the same time, it would be nice to just like have that confirmation and just like let that go.
Yeah.
And then, so now you're just focused on what's happening now and rebuilding from here.
Yeah.
But if you know that there's other people and they're not coming to get you, I feel like having that constant like hope that somebody might, just knowing that they're out there, that I feel like that might be even more devastating, because it's like, how do you move on in this situation when you're constantly hoping that, you know, there's civilized society that could help you out.
Yeah, and the music is fantastic, and I love the buildup of the theme song that happens in the final act.
So fucking good.
So good. And one of my issues with 28 Weeks Later is they kind of use that theme too much. It doesn't have that same buildup. So it doesn't have as great of a payoff, in my opinion.
You said it in weeks?
Yeah, in weeks.
Yeah.
You don't hear it all in 28 years.
You don't. And I was surprised by that. But the way that film went towards the end, it wouldn't have made sense.
So yeah, 28 Days Later is such a goated zombie movie. Even though Danny Boyle himself doesn't like to frame it as a zombie movie, because even the virus, it's labeled as a rage virus. It's not per se a zombie virus.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's
a lot of zombie characteristics.
Yes. And then 28 Weeks Later, stars Jeremy Renner, Rose Byrne, Idris Elba, and you know, they are allowing people to start coming back to London. Still, you know, quarantine, but they're allowing people to return. Yeah. And there was just so many stupid character decisions that are easily avoidable.
Yes.
Like too avoidable.
No, it pissed me off so much. And that was like my biggest problem with 28 Weeks, where I was like, okay, this is just lazy writing. This is stupid. Cause like I had no problem with how the outbreak happened in that cold open of 28 days. Cause it was like they were testing on chimpanzees, and you know, it was like an extremist animal rights activist group that they were trying to free the chimps, because they were like, you know, they thought it was animal abuse, and then they're like, no, don't, they're infected, because like, you know, scientists, they aren't gonna have like crazy, you know, bodyguard security. I mean, even if they did, it's not like they couldn't get past them. So yeah, it was just, you know, the misguided actions of some activists that caused this outbreak to happen. So I was like, okay, that's like a realistic thing to happen. So many chances to stop this outbreak from happening in 28 weeks. And I'm like, and especially because they're aware of it too. Yeah. Like that's the other thing. It's like they know what this disease is capable of. So your fucking security measures better be top notch.
But the fact that their security measures weren't top notch, while at the same time they had the security there to prevent it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, they had the people. They just weren't doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And like, one of the things that pissed me off the most was I feel like they thought they could get away with it because they emphasized how the dad had the all access card.
Yeah.
I feel like that was their reasoning for like why he was able to be where he was. But no, he went and saw his wife that they just found in the outside the quarantine zone. They were testing her blood, see if she had been exposed to anything. Hadn't even gotten the results back yet.
Yeah.
And she is sitting in a room while they're awaiting the results, and he's just able to walk in there, no fucking issues at all, and go see his wife that had been exposed to the elements. And there's no guard, no nothing stopping the husband from going to see his wife who was exposed to everything.
And then once he's infected, you see him attacking these military troops who have AR-15, AK-47 semi-automatic weapons on them.
Yeah.
And he's just mauling these dudes. I'm like, this is just
I'm like, you're clearly not trained.
Yeah.
Because what the fuck?
So there's just a lot of dumb character decisions, in my opinion. I didn't have as much of an emotional attachment to these characters. Like in 28 days, you grow a heavy emotional attachment to the little family that they create. Honestly,
I was feeling for Cillian Murphy like right off the bat. Like when he went and saw his parents at his house, I was like, geez, I couldn't imagine myself being in that situation and, finding out the world has ended basically and going to see my parents who just decided to end it all. Like like me personally, I couldn't think my parents were capable of that. And you wouldn't think a lot of people are capable of that. It's just like kind of a shocking realization in this situation. But I'm going too deep into that. But, I was feeling for him right off the bat.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. 28 days later is definitely superior. 28 weeks later, it is just irritated me. But like it had some good elements there, but they just were not executed properly. Yeah. And then we get to 28 years later.
I enjoyed this movie.
I enjoyed it too. I do have some issues with it, which we'll get into. But 28 years later is already off to a hot start in terms of it's really divisive, more divisive than I thought it would be, because you have some people saying, best horror movie of the year, masterpiece, really good, zombie genre is revitalized. And then a lot of people were disappointed, didn't like the ending of it, didn't like the tone changes at some parts. Like there is heavy divisiveness going on with 28 years later. Yeah. But for the most part in the reviews, it does seem positive.
Yeah. Yeah.
And box office is off to a great start as well.
Yeah. No, I think they could have made some changes to improve it. I agree. But I mean, overall, I still enjoyed it. I didn't have a problem with the direction that they did go. I know you were telling me that you weren't a fan that they kind of cut Aaron Taylor Johnson's character out from like the halfway point of the movie.
That was one issue with me because I don't know. I think I almost get like the feeling that a lot of movies are afraid to have Aaron Taylor Johnson be the leading man of their story. Like he's in a lot of great movies, but he's never really the leading man except Kraven the Hunter. Yeah. Which I mean was not that's not his fault.
No.
And one question that's going around is Aaron Taylor Johnson a good actor? Which I think is a dumb question because I think he is a good actor.
He is a good actor.
But a lot of people don't think he is.
I think he is.
I think he is too. I think he has what it takes to
be the lead man,
to lead a movie.
Yeah. I don't know what that was about. I mean, well, speaking of leads though, I did think our main character, the kid, Spike, I thought he did a great job.
Yes, Alfie Williams was great as Spike.
He was really good. But yeah, no, honestly, I kept thinking that Jesus, what was the dad's name? You just called him Dad the whole time. What was his name?
Ooh, Aaron Taylor.
Yeah,
Johnson.
What was his character's name?
His name was Jamie.
Jamie. I genuinely thought he was gonna catch up to Spike and his mom.
That's what I thought too.
I kept thinking like when that when the what do they call it, the slow ones, the ground, I don't know what he called them, but
yeah, like the crawlers
whatever.
But
when he was creeping up on him while they were sleeping, I thought, and we saw that, flashback with the bag and slamming the head. I thought that was going to be
his dad.
And maybe.
See, and I think that would have done a lot for like his character development in that movie as well.
Yeah. Cause like we kind of, the last time we see him, he's kind of just like this piece of shit, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, like exaggerating his son's story, trying to just, you know, like being all proud and like almost like falsely proud. And, you know, Spike didn't like that, but also, you know, him cheating on his wife. So yeah, no, we didn't leave at a good spot with his character.
Right.
And lying to his son about the doctor and everything, and not wanting to seek out help for his mom. So yeah, I could understand Spike's frustration with his dad in that moment. But I think it would have been good to see them kind of rebuild their connection on like a more, you know, just like being more upfront with each other.
No, but I think the first act, really the first half of this movie is fantastic.
It's really good.
It is really good. It sets up a lot of really fucking scary stuff here.
Yeah.
And I really liked the idea of having this island that does connect to the mainland, but you can only get there
at a certain time
during low tide through the causeway. And I thought that was really interesting.
That was a cool concept.
Really cool concept. And it offers a really anxiety-inducing scene when this alpha zombie is chasing them back home and they have to shin high run through the water on the causeway during nighttime. And there is just, I will say this, the camera shots in this movie, gorgeous.
Fire.
Absolutely gorgeous. And like just like 28 Days Later, just Danny Boyle and the cinematographer finding ways to be innovative with this movie. You know, it was shot all on iPhone. And as you saw, a behind the scene production shot of a camera rig with 20 iPhones wrapped in like a 180-degree oval.
Awesome.
The end result of that is so cool.
Awesome.
It's almost like, I don't even want to really spoil it. You just got to go see that part because it is so fucking wicked.
Dude, the song that was playing as they were walking to the mainland.
Dude.
Oh my God. Dude, that was putting me on edge.
Was that the Boots one?
Yeah. The 5, 7. Yeah, that whole thing.
So what you hear in the trailer of 28 Years Later with that lady saying the Boots, Boots. So they play that song actually in the movie, which I'm glad they do. But oh my God, do they add a whole nother element to that song? I'm not even kidding. The Boots song from 28 Years Later might be the best song I've heard in a movie this year. And I might be crazy to say that 28 Years Later soundtrack is on par with Sinner so far this year.
Whoa.
And Sinner's score was a masterpiece. But I think both used their music as well as they could for what its purpose was.
Yeah, to like just level up the movie that much more. Yeah.
The music is so good.
It was so good. Like,
it's so good.
You know, like me, I'm looking at this and I'm looking at what's happening on screen too. And I'm just like, you know, if you were just seeing what's on screen, you wouldn't think anything crazy is going on. But bro, that sound just adds so much tension and like fear. Cause I'm like, what are they walking into?
Yeah.
That I don't know about.
Yeah.
And it's just,
I went back and listened to that song in the car.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Like I'm just getting anxiety in my car listening to this song.
It's crazy.
It's so good.
It's wicked. Like
the two best movie music scores this year are both horror films. Sinners and 28 Years Later. I think the horror genre is winning this year.
Yeah,
for sure. No, that was definitely, I think, my favorite part of this movie was the music. Also, the music and the camera shots.
Yeah. Another positive I did like about this though was the world building that they did.
Yeah.
So, you know, now it's 28 years later. Obviously, like when you have creatures like this at this point, because that's essentially what they are, the infected. They are creatures. You know, they just kind of like developed their culture around it. And like, you know, like they had their name for the slow ones. They had their name for the fast ones. They knew what alphas were. Like, it's like, you know,
alphas were the leaders.
Yeah,
of these
they were
groups.
the leaders. And so it's like something that they've studied and like, you know, they just kind of like developed their culture. At least like this hunting culture and like knowing how to deal with each situation. So
and how these infected evolved as well, because from the original movie with what they were studying, it took 5 weeks for the infected to starve out and die. Yeah. But now clearly we've seen like these infected have
intelligence enough
to hunt.
And to like,
and to feed off of animals. So there's a lot of evolvement when it comes to the infected in this movie as well.
Yeah.
But wait, quick thought when we were talking about earlier, how I was like, why can't we get lighting like that in movies these days?
Yeah.
28 years later does do that.
Yeah.
It brings back that sort of lighting that is not so hyper realistic.
Okay.
And it is so good. But yeah, no, there's good world building, good introduction of, you know, the involvement of these infected and these alphas, bro.
Alphas.
The alphas. Can we talk about the elephant in the room?
The giant dong.
If you go and see this movie, you will think it should have been called 28 Inches Later, because my God.
Yeah.
And I just got to know if it was real.
I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible, but bro, it's like there's like my gut wants to say that was a prosthetic because that's
I got to look it up.
absurd.
I have to look
Like,
it up, bro.
that's actually absurd.
It was the third leg in 28 years later real. No, not the song, the dong. Okay, well, Google AI says no, the penis scene. Google AI says the dong scene in 28 years later is not real, it's prosthetic.
Okay.
Okay, that makes me feel a little better
Yeah.
about myself, but
Oh my God, Blake. Even if it was real, you should not be comparing yourself to that. That's ridiculous.
yeah.
I think any woman would be terrified upon seeing that.
I was terrified upon seeing that.
I was too, bro.
Yeah, that was insane, bro.
Yeah.
Couldn't get him any pants or nothing.
What was the point of that?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, like,
Maybe to show that he's the alpha.
yeah, I think that literally was the point. But I mean, I think the size alone would have, like, his bigness would have done that. But
And there was just long shots there of it just sitting there. I'm like,
bro,
what are we doing?
I know. That was the biggest part. Is
Yeah.
like if it was just like there while he was chasing him, it's like,
Yeah.
nah, bro, y'all focused on it. It was
But-
very interesting to see.
But those alphas were menacing.
Yeah, they were menacing. And I thought the pregnancy stuff in this movie was interesting too, with like the
Mhm.
pregnant infected, and the baby not being born infected.
You think they should have touched up on that more though? Maybe.
What do
Like
you
it was kind of introduced and tossed to the side pretty quickly, or because I know they keep the baby around, but I don't know. There wasn't as
Well,
much.
what are they gonna do to study it? Like,
I don't know.
you know, they don't have like scientific equipment or anything. It's
No.
like as far as they would understand, it's just. I mean, the only thing that they really did to like explain it was when Ray Fiennes, his character, was
Mhm.
like the magic of the placenta, basically.
Right.
Like the placenta essentially like shields the baby from
from the
infection.
infection. Mm.
Even though I'm assuming it's the alpha, that's the alpha's baby.
That's what I assume too.
It has to be because like, what's the point of the alpha? The alpha is the
Or-
leader,
or-
makes the babies.
I mean, now
No, dude, that woman had been like infected for a long
while.
time, or like that. Like what happens? What I'm assuming is what happens now is like the infected they get infected when they're babies like that.
right.
Like and so you think that they're infected their whole life, but you know, for the few short seconds right after they're born, they're not.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's something they'll touch up on in the next few movies. Because like I
Yeah.
said, they do want to do a trilogy. Ray Fiennes is really good, as always.
I liked his character a lot too. Like that, honestly, that whole switch of direction, like while it may not have been what everyone wanted,
Yeah.
I didn't have a problem with it. I kind of thought it was cool. I especially thought it was interesting. Like, you know, his character does seem like very creepy right off
Mhm.
the bat. But you know, it was nice to see that like there was a method to his madness and like
Mhm.
why he was burning those bodies and like
And
it
like
was,
a beauty behind the madness, too.
yeah. No, it was like, it was very respectful. And, you know, like he genuinely cared about,
Mhm.
you know, the people he was doing that to, infected or not.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was just like, he ended up being a very nice person. Dude, honestly, while I was watching it, I was like, this is like kind of more respectful than how we treat our dead bodies these days. Like, bro, you ever seen what happens during embalming?
No.
Nothing about that's respectful to the body. And I was like, this is actually kind of like a cool way to preserve
Mhm.
somebody's
Yeah. And I mean, this is why everyone experiences movies in a different way because, you know, a lot of people have been pointing to that scene as really the emotional core to 28 years later. And, you know, with Spike's mom being sick and wanting him to take her to find a doctor.
Yeah.
And, you know, while it may not have struck like it didn't strike a huge emotional string for me. Like, I think I attached to the characters more in 28 Days Later.
Yeah.
But, you know, I had a friend, you know, message me about how that scene, you know, made him really go through it and get emotional because, you know, his mom went through breast cancer.
I was about to say, for people who have
Right.
who have been in that same situation, it's probably a little more relatable. And,
Right.
you know,
and fortunately, like, his mom was able to beat it and everything. But just the fact that
that could have been him.
that could have been,
Yeah.
and, you know, so, and that's why I think it's really important for really everyone to go see a movie for themselves to determine how they feel about it because it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get like this terrifying first act. Tone switches a little bit in the second to more of a, you know, hero's journey, comedic tone.
Yeah.
Like they introduce a little more comedy to it. I'm not going to say it went full comedy because it doesn't.
No.
But there is a little more lightheartedness.
I was just about to say that word. Yeah.
In the second act. And then the third one is more so grieving and hopeful at the same time as well.
Yeah. No, I thought I liked I liked that Spike like kind of went off on his own and he needed to like do his own thing because like after his mom was gone, he really didn't have anything going for him back home. Like his relationship with his dad was like kind of severed at that point. And yeah, he just kind of like wanted to see what was out there, I guess.
Yeah. So
his skills improved a lot through the movie.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
So in terms of like the dislikes, I wasn't a huge fan of the ending of the movie, which is
the
like
Teletubby ending.
The Power Rangers ending.
Well, it was Teletubbies.
Yeah.
That was the inspiration.
Right.
Because we saw them watching that at the beginning of the movie.
But in terms of the way they were fighting and stuff, it was very
like,
Power Rangers.
It was like Power Rangers, yeah.
But it's like a total whiplash in terms of a tone for the ending of this movie.
Yes, I agree.
And this is where Jack O'Connell's character pops up.
Yeah.
Sir Jimmy Crystal is his name. And apparently that character is an inspiration of a UK TV personality host who the Queen tried knighting like 5 times and was finally able to, but turns out after he died, it came out that that person had a huge history of like abusing and assaulting women. And
Jesus,
I think, and like very culty as well. And so some people from the UK weren't like a fan of that. But it's like interesting because I wonder where they'll lead to that now. Is that character going to be the next movie? And I think he is. And are they going to show like that this person is not a good person? Because it ends off with him helping out Spike, his group helping out Spike. So you don't really get the essence of like, oh, this isn't a good person or a good group. So leading into the second movie and after hearing about what that character is like inspired after, they might show that culty horror of like humanity. I don't even need to know all that to assume, to come to the conclusion that this might not be a good person, bro. When it comes to zombie apocalypse shit, like I don't trust anybody. Yeah. That's just my mentality about it. Like, and maybe this is just from me watching The Walking Dead, bro. Maybe. I feel like every good thing that they came along, there was always some kind of caveat to it. And the same thing with this. I mean, like, just look at the dude. I mean, look what they're wearing. You can clearly get like some cult vibes from him. He's wearing an upside down cross. Right.
And we find out his name was Jimmy. And earlier in the movie, we had found a body hanging from its feet with the name Jimmy carved in it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't put that together. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
It's because I couldn't make out what that said.
I saw IMMY.
Oh.
It was 100% Jimmy.
Okay, yes.
They're the ones who did that to people.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
This makes a lot more sense now.
Clearly not a great person.
Yeah. Okay. This makes more sense now.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I mean, yeah, I mean,
I knew it
saved his life at the
Yeah.
end of the movie. So I mean, he'll take their help while he can, but I feel like that relationship probably will not end well.
Gotcha. Yes, because I knew it said something, but I couldn't make out what it said.
Yeah, it said Jimmy.
Very nice. All right, good catch there. So that will lead into the next 28 years later movie.
No, I mean, honestly, I love that was Jack O'Connell. I was like, right after Sinners, let's fucking go.
Is he just gonna play fucked up people now?
Dude, I hope so, because he does it so well.
Yeah, but then there's the argument his vampire character in Sinners is like just trying to erase the whole humanity racism part of like his group. I mean,
What do you mean?
in Sinners,
Yeah, what do you...
like I'm saying, he was the antagonist, the villain in
Yeah.
Sinners,
Yeah.
when really like
No.
thematically the real villain is right there on Earth with racism and
Are they trying to say he was like good in a sense? Because he's not. He's literally the fucking devil.
hey, some people might.
Dog, the devil makes false promises. Like, do people not know that? That's like a whole thing. That's like a
Boom.
whole thing in the Bible.
Thank you. Yeah,
Like,
no, you're cooking,
people
you're cooking.
like people talk about, dude, I'm not even religious and I know this shit. Like, have you ever seen like those images of like what Lucifer would actually look like? He's not gonna have horns and all that. He's gonna look like one of the most beautiful things you've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. Deceive you.
Yeah, exactly.
And Jack O'Connell was good looking.
He is good looking.
We
We heard tale of a party.
any other like dislikes? Trying to think. I've already said the few, which were the major ones for me, which was dropping Aaron Taylor's character,
Mhm.
Aaron Taylor Johnson's character halfway through the movie.
I would have
and
liked
the
to
ending
have
was
seen
a little
him.
weird, but
I would have liked to seen Aaron Taylor Johnson come back.
yeah.
Like dude, I genuinely thought he was gonna catch up to him
Mm-hmm.
when they were
That would have been cool.
on the mainland
Yeah.
with his mom. And I obviously like how I pictured this going in my head is like he was gonna catch him. He was gonna be like, "Come on, we're going back." But Spike convinces him. And so he joins and helps them out, and they finally meet the doctor. And then it could have been like father and son again at the end.
And it also erases the perception that Jamie had of that doctor, because the main reason that Jamie doesn't tell his son Spike about that doctor is because he said he's crazy.
Yeah.
And like he just has his perception. He saw him down there one day with all of these bodies
lined up yeah.
to burn.
I mean, honestly, valid reaction to seeing that.
Right, especially as a kid.
Yeah.
But that just gave, him the perception that he had of Dr. What was his name? Dr. Ian Kelson.
Yeah.
But overall, I think the pros definitely outweigh the cons for
Yeah.
me. I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars out of 5. A lot of people are saying zombies are back, baby.
Zombies are back.
Zombies are back. We got some questions though from the Discord we'll go over. And let's see. All right. First one we got. What are the best or your favorite zombie projects, films, shows, games, etc.?
I mean, the first thing that comes to mind, Walking Dead.
I wasn't never huge on The Walking Dead.
I was into The Walking Dead for a minute. To me, that's like one of the most iconic zombie things that there are.
For sure.
But I mean, like, yeah, you asked me off rip, it's gonna be Walking Dead, Last of Us video games,
Mhm.
and Zombieland.
Zombieland.
Yeah,
Zombieland was good.
it's good, man.
Underrated.
It's a fun time.
It is. I feel like when it comes to the zombie genre, yeah, people don't really bring up Zombieland too much.
but it's fun.
It's a great movie. It's such a good movie. But right off the bat, because I don't really play video games, and I wasn't huge on The Walking Dead, so I'd have to go 28 Days Later and Train to Busan for me.
Okay, and yeah, I would add 28 Days Later to like my list of favorites for zombie content now.
Zombieland, that's a good pull though.
Yeah,
Forgot about that one.
there's so much. There's a lot of zombie stuff actually.
There is. And I know like the original Night of the Walking Dead that really vitalized the zombie genre.
Yeah.
I just have yet to make my way through that classic franchise. Now, this is actually kind of funny. Which zombies would you want to go up against the most and you think you have your best survival chance against?
Okay, so it's actually funny that you have that question because I have like a very similar one.
Really?
Here. Yeah, all right. So I was gonna ask you. I got, which zombies would you want to deal with in a zombie apocalypse? We got Last of Us, Walking Dead, World War Z, I Am Legend. 28 Days Later.
Okay, right off the bat, I'm not doing World War Z because like I know
Those ones are psycho, bro.
I know, and I know they don't attack you if you're like sick.
Yeah.
But they are so fast.
They're so
fast. So World War Z,
like once you have the cure, you're good with World War Z. But
Right.
bro, until that point, you were fucked.
yeah. So not doing World War Z. List me the other options again.
We got Last of Us. Also
Also not
hell
doing that.
no.
Hell no.
Walking Dead. That's
Yeah.
a viable option.
Yeah.
I Am Legend.
No.
Also hell no.
Also hell no.
And then 28 Days Later. Walking Dead really does have the easiest zombies.
I think I'd go Walking Dead out of those options, honestly.
Because they literally just walk.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Most time.
Like they
Like, I know-
can run, but
I think don't they evolve throughout the show? Like they get a little tougher to
I don't
deal
know.
with, or,
I stopped at a certain point with
Yeah.
Walking Dead, so like I didn't see what they got to like later in the series.
but based off of what I've seen from
Yeah.
seasons, I think I watched seasons 1 through 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So what I've seen,
pretty
I would
basic
do-
zombie stuff.
I would do Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other ones are fast because even 28 Days Later, it's like it's a rage virus. So
Yeah.
they're fast.
they
They're
have, like,
rageful. They're
They have like almost super strength on them.
right.
Like,
yeah.
Cause I'm like, bro, I remember in 28 Days Later when they like busted through the window like that, I was like, dude,
Right.
how weak is this window?
Yeah, that too.
And
And not to mention 28 years later, we see the involvement into the alpha, and it's like,
yeah,
bro, it took like 12 arrows to take that thing down.
no, and a giant spear.
Yeah. So I'm not choosing that either.
Nah,
I'd go Walking Dead.
what I'm trying to think, what other like zombie options are there? What other than what I just listed?
I mean, just out of those are like the popular options.
yeah.
So,
So Walking Dead really does have like the easiest zombies.
Yeah. Yeah. Zombieland. What about Zombieland?
They were actually moving. I feel like they were actually moving with
Mm.
running and stuff, and they had some big boys, if I'm not mistaken.
They did have some big, but that's just, big people get infected. You're going to have big boys in any zombie genre.
I don't know. What's appealing about choosing the Walking Dead ones is like their bodies like decay,
Yeah.
so they get like weaker the longer that they are a zombie.
Mm.
So that's like beneficial to those ones. Because like with the rage virus, like they're not dead.
No.
None of them are dead.
No.
They're just infected.
Mm-hmm.
So like they still have like all their human strength and like they don't get like weaker over time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd have to go The Walking Dead. Okay, already talked about Alpha's third leg, if it was real. Talked about is Aaron Taylor Johnson a good actor, which we think he is.
He is a good actor, bro.
He is a good actor.
I feel like people just like to hate on him because of his
But
personal
why?
life, personal life,
Oh, because of his
age gap
age gap
marriage.
between his wife.
Yeah, it's a little strange.
It is a little.
I'll say that.
For those who don't know, his wife is like 20 years older than him.
Yeah,
So yeah.
it's a little strange.
You do see that with male when the male is older, which I
Yeah.
still think is weird.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I'm not
but
like
it's not looked
It's
down
not.
upon as
Yeah,
much.
it's not looked at as much. Yeah.
What would be the top 3 non-powered people in fiction that would survive 28 Days Later universe? So
Bro,
like,
wait, what? Dog.
So,
I
like,
mean,
Jo-
like, you
so,
want
like,
me to just
Jo-
like pick Superman? What's this?
Okay.
What's this question?
no, non-powered.
Oh,
people in fiction.
non-powered.
Okay.
Oh,
So
I heard
here-
powered. I was like,
So here,
I just pick some super being.
Here.
I don't know.
let me list this out for you then. Who would survive? Who would survive a zombie apocalypse the best? John Wick, James Bond, or Ethan Hunt?
Why are you going all like spy people?
I don't know. It's just what I thought
Because
about.
when I first heard, when you said non-powered, you know who my first thought is?
Who?
Punisher, baby.
Mm.
Oh, that man would be living it up in a zombie apocalypse. He'd be chilling.
Well, he was in The Walking Dead. He's already been in the zombie apocalypse.
Exactly, bro. And he was doing good.
What is that? What is that?
Yeah. His only problem was that he had that right mentality too quick.
Oh,
He just had a weird obsession with Rick's wife.
What was his fall off in that show? Like, how'd he go?
Rick killed him.
But why?
I think he was gonna kill him, or like I can't remember exactly how it went down, but like essentially they kind of looked at Shane as like a mad dog they had to put down. That's essentially what it was.
When Shane was
he was going a little crazy.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, like he had that survivor mentality before anybody else did.
Yeah.
So
he was willing to do the bid.
Yeah,
before anyone.
Yeah. And that's kind of why I can't remember exactly. It's been a while since I watched that. That was early Walking Dead. That was season 2.
Season 2.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But no, Punisher would be just fine in a zombie apocalypse. Also non-powered.
I think John Wick survives longer than James Bond.
Yeah.
I think he's a little more lethal with a gun.
Yeah. A little more quick to shoot as well.
And what if there's a sexy zombie?
Oh, Ethan Hunt? Ethan Hunt's fucked. You know why Ethan Hunt's fucked?
Because he gets attached.
Yeah, he's not going to leave anybody behind. And he's going to put himself in a stupid situation.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be recoverable. No, like you put yourself in a dumb situation in a zombie apocalypse, you're done.
He's done.
So, yeah, Ethan Hunt's fucked.
I agree. So I'll go John Wick.
Yeah. And fourth option, I'm going Punisher.
Yeah, Punisher probably lasts the longest, actually.
Oh, yeah.
And then aside from zombies, a little random, what are your thoughts on the current Twitter debate of Iron Man and Batman switching places and fighting each other's villains? How would they do? I've not seen this Twitter debate going around, but I guess it has been.
Iron Man and Batman? So switching rogues galleries.
Yeah.
I mean, who is Iron Man's rogues galleries?
It's a great question because his villains aren't really
his. They're not like his personally. Like, I mean, other than like his.
Well, you have the Mandarin, Whiplash,
Hammer, Justin Hammer,
right? Because like
Obadiah Stane.
His bigger threats are Avengers threats.
Yeah. Are those Iron Man villains? I wouldn't count those as Iron Man.
Iron Man solely, no.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like, Iron Man doesn't have a no kill rule either. Yeah. So, like, I feel like he would, deal with Batman's villains. And if he wanted to go lethal, he'd go lethal and be done.
An absolute.
What?
I don't know.
Were you trying to do absolute Batman or something like that?
No, only a Sith deals in absolute.
Oh, okay. That was such a reach. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, we have Bane.
Tony's too logical as like a scientist to be like, all right, we're going to just take out this threat permanently.
Yeah. No, so I think they both would do fine. Because like, I don't see Batman struggling against like the people that we just listed that are specifically Iron Man villains.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because like, the biggest threats that Iron Man faces is with the Avengers. Like, it's never by himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
and not to mention, Iron Man's character wasn't really popular enough at the time either. And like his villains weren't memorable either. Like Iron Man just wasn't popular as a character until the MCU.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe his villains grew stronger as the MCU grew. But I mean, Batman since day one has always had the most iconic villains with Joker, Penguin, Scarecrow.
I mean, I don't see Iron Man struggling against Batman's villains either. Like, literally, the biggest threats to him would just be like the big tough guys with like Killer Croc and Bane. And
I think he would have more of a tough time though with Bane. Yeah, strategically, you'd have to go with more of the villains that are more. Are Batman's villains more strategic than Iron Man's villains? You'd say.
Well, like. I mean, I guess like mentally would be like Tony's struggle. Cause like, I mean, if Joker got a hold of like Pepper or something,
right,
he's going to be irrational.
Right.
So,
cause we saw him be irrational with Bucky and Cap.
Yeah.
Which valid. I would have too.
Yeah. But then again, it's like, would that also be a benefit to him? Because like Joker's whole thing with Batman is like he loves, you know, testing his no kill rule. Iron Man doesn't have that. Be like, you touch Pepper, I'm gonna fucking kill you. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like he wouldn't. It's not the same game.
Yeah.
Because Iron Man has no problem killing.
No.
So, I mean, he tries to be like a good person, but if it comes down to it, when he's dealing with Batman villains, I'm sure he would see each one of them and be like, yeah, you need to be taken out. Like, you've done enough that this is valid.
Like, dude, what the fuck is Batman do letting Joker live all these years?
Yeah. So,
yeah, I think Iron Man would be.
I think he'd be fine.
I think he'd be fine.
He'd be fine, but like, I mean, the question is who would be better off? But because I don't really see Batman struggling against Iron Man's villains either. I feel like it'd be a pretty easy cakewalk for both of them.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Interesting. All right. Well, that is going to do it for this review of 28 Years Later. Horror genre is winning in 2025. Go and see this movie. Good to see the zombie genre back. And just, you know, like I said, it's innovative in a way that 28 Days Later was when Danny Boyle and Alex Garland did that. So let us know your thoughts and opinions about it. It's going to be a great summer. We should have some summer merch coming out soon as well. We're going to be having a Jurassic Park DuckTakes logo and Superman logo out by the time you hear this episode. Shout out to our boy Drew for always cooking up some fire merch for us. Really excited for the Jurassic Park one. As always, make sure to check out the Patreon for bonus episodes. We just had our first Kahoot movie trivia night as well, where we will be doing that once every 2 weeks, once a month. Want to try to do it once every 2 weeks. And the winner of these Kahoot movie trivia nights will be gifted a free month subscription to the Patreon. So be on the lookout for those as well. Had a really fun time hosting that the other night.
Can you tell the crowd our winner of the previous trivia night?
Yes, our winner of the previous trivia night was Mike T.
Mike T.
And he stayed at the top the whole trivia. I don't think he got a single question wrong. So maybe I'll put together some
honor system, by the way. I hope we're not all.
So here's the thing about Kahoot and why I think you have to do it the honor system way, because you get more points for your speed.
Yeah, no, you do.
So you don't have time to cheat in Kahoot.
True.
If you want to win at Kahoot, you don't have time to cheat.
Yeah. I mean, unless he had like some AI thing set up, listening to looking at the questions or whatever. That's such try hard though.
Yeah.
Congrats, Mike T. I'm not trying to degrade your win.
Yeah. What the fuck?
I'm not trying to take down your win.
I will say, I think Mike T had the fastest internet because it was funny.
That's another factor.
That's another factor.
Yeah.
So I streamed it on YouTube Live. So I might try to go through Twitch, back on Twitch maybe. Someone said Twitch is a little less laggy. But again, I mean, I do what I can. So apologies if I do have to do it on YouTube Live again. It was pretty simple. But some were saying that the options to answer were coming up like 5 to 7 seconds before they actually saw the question.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, if you got Mike T's internet, it don't matter.
I guess not.
So I'll try to figure out a way to make that a little less laggy on my part. We'll be seeing a lot this summer. Really excited for all the blockbusters to come, some franchise rankings to come. And we'll see you next time on DuckTakes.
See you guys.